What's up everyone, Alex here. Got a pretty cool video today. We got some PNACH codes for PlayStation 2. I'm going to make a couple of games actually play a lot better than they used to, which is really cool. I'm going to go through a couple of things first. I get some questions about this live wallpaper. If you literally go to Google Play, search live wallpaper, you'll find an app that offers you a selection of different live wallpapers you can use for free. I think you have to be connected to the internet to use them though. Next thing is I get asked a lot what my front end is. This is Pegasus, and I'm using the Shin Retro theme. And this is one I customize a bit myself. I added my music and stuff. If you search my YouTube videos, I'll leave a link in the description as well. I did a couple of videos about me setting this up on my Odin, but they're not tutorial videos. So this isn't like the easiest front end to use. It takes a bit of setup, a lot of your own personal scraping for all the pictures and stuff, but I really like it, and I've set it up for the Retro Pocket 3 now, and yeah, I just really like using it. So you can go and sideload this by downloading the APK from the website. There is an installer. I think Retro Game Core links an installer to make it a bit easier to set up, but there will most likely be times you'll run into problems setting this one up. So if you just want something easy to use, just use Daijishu or something like that. But I really like, as soon as I saw the look of this, it's like, I've got to have this front end. So I put the time and effort into making it work. So yeah, that's the front end I'm using. That's Pegasus. So now on to PlayStation 2. So I did a little digging for PNACH codes, and one of the places I found offered the best ones, it was actually the AetherSX2 Discord, but since that was disbanded, it's a fan version of the Discord, so I'll leave it, I think I can do this, I'll leave an invite to that room on Discord, and there's a room specifically for PNACH codes, and that's where I found several of these, which is really awesome. Otherwise, I had to like dig around online for a little bit. Also, I'm using the latest version of AetherSX2. So if you install the newest version, just for safety's sake, make sure you go down to reset settings, and you want to set this to safe. That's what I usually do, and then I go from there. I'm just going to run through my settings just so that we don't have any like conflicting problems. I only really need to look at system here, which is at 100%, 0. We usually tweak everything on a game-by-game basis. We are using, why is that not at the top? We are using Vulkan and just starting off with 1x, but some of these games we're going to do a bit better than 1x. Most of this is either automatic or disabled. Set it to widescreen, enable widescreen patches. Threaded representation on because we're using Vulkan. And this does have a Mali GPU. And at the moment, we have synchronization mode for audio on time stretch, but for a bunch of games, we're going to want to use async mix just because if there is any slowdown, if it's not really that noticeable, then the audio will actually stay pretty decent. And for advanced, I think this is all pretty much default stuff too. There was a game I tested recently, it was Way of the Samurai 2, and turning on GPU palette conversion for Way of the Samurai 2 made the game run a lot better. It only really works for a couple of games. Skip presenting, duplicate frames is on. So there you go, that's basically the gist of my like global settings. So now, PNACH codes. So I did a video where we started off with Burnout 3. There's one for Burnout Revenge. It's basically the same thing, but we're going to have a look at that too. The first thing we're going to go into is how to use the PNACH codes again, just in case. So in this menu, if you go to patch codes, there's usually a little warning, which I've got rid of, so you can just get past that. And in here, we have a list of things we can do. And I'm going to leave in the video description all the PNACH codes you can download. And we will go to Add Patch, Import from File. You can put this anywhere you like on your storage. I've just put it in my PS2 folder where my games are. I made a cheats folder. And you can see these in here. So you just press one of them. And after you import, it will add everything. And then you want to make sure that you turn on enable patches. It says disable patches now because I already have them on. I don't want to turn them off, but make sure they're enabled every time you start up your game. So I'm going to start up the game again just to show you. So just going to load state again. You can see in the top left here that it's not doing what I want it to. Okay, let's start the game without a state. There we go. 3 cheat patches and 2 widescreen patches are active. So the widescreen patches are from the setting where we enabled widescreen patches, and the other ones are from the PNACH code we just put in. So I'm just going to load state so we can just get straight to some gameplay. And the settings I have here, we've got 50% underclocking, which is pretty much what we do with most games. I put a mild underclock on because it wasn't properly reaching 100%. We've left it at 1x, not changed that. Just for my own benefit, I put Vulkan again because I was just messing around between Vulkan and OpenGL. And the mild underclock is going to keep the game running around 100%, but it's not going to be like completely perfect 60 frames. If there was some sort of code to make sure the game was limited to 30 frames per second, then we'd have a very smooth experience of this game, just like with Burnout 3. I might show Burnout 3 again at the end of the video, but I did do a whole video on that, so if you want a more in-depth look at Burnout 3, go check out that video. Now this game's crazy because you just slam into so many vehicles. This game actually had a little trouble running on the Odin as well. I haven't actually tried these PNACH codes on the Odin. I'm assuming that would like get the game running a little bit better on there as well, and it would look quite nice. I'm going to be doing another video on the Odin soon because I've pretty much had it for 1 year now, so I'm thinking of doing like a 1 year recap and probably having a look at some Switch games as well, perhaps, since there's been a lot of improvements to Skyline. There was recently a update to Skyline for the main build, where now people are going to be able to play Super Smash Bros. So I'm going to be checking that out soon and seeing if it's worth a look at the Odin. I very much doubt it's going to work on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. So there you go, there's Burnout Revenge. Now this one's really cool. We're going to be looking at Devil May Cry. So, yeah, I'm going to start the game again because... So, this is the special edition, but it's also, like, every game we're testing here is NTSC, except this one. I think this one's Europe. So, I'm going to pick English. I keep forgetting to say in the videos that these are NTSC ones, but here we're going to pick 50 Hz, which is PAL. Because this is going to ensure that we definitely get, like, smoother speed. So a lot of people actually prefer to use PAL ROMs because of the 50 Hz problem, where it's like the TVs back in the day were not like, usually they couldn't do 60 Hz. It's like a, I'm not going to go into it, but basically they speed up the animations to feel like 60 Hz, 60 frames per second. But it's actually running at 50 Hz. So basically for emulation, it's a bit easier to run. Before I do anything else, I'm just going to show you my settings. 50% underclock, no cycle skip underclock, and we're using OpenGL, which is actually a little bit better. And no, I've not got hardware download mode on, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to go into load game. I do have a save state, but I just wanted to show from the start to make sure to pick 50 Hz. And this patch basically disables some of the blur and depth of field, and there's some pause menu problems. I didn't actually notice those before, but that's what it says in the PNACH. So we're just going to skip these intros. And when I last tested this game, Basically, as soon as I run up to the enemies that are going to be firing projectiles at me, it would just go down to like 60 or 70%. But as you can see, why can't I jump up? Dude, every time I do gameplay in these videos. But now when we get here, it's pretty much staying around 100%. It feels very smooth. Now I keep forgetting when I do these videos, I can actually just run through that door. I don't have to fight those enemies. So what I want to do is just like run up to Cerberus and show basically the game running pretty well. I remember in my last video when I go into the strip club here, the performance is actually pretty decent still. But this PNACH code definitely makes a difference. Hang on a sec, this is bothering me as well. So, all these inverted camera options back in the day, they always annoy me. So I'm going to change my input profile to one I've changed before. Do I want shoulder swap as well? I've made some controller profiles and I basically only want to swap the horizontal of the right stick. I'm going to leave that actually, because I don't want to swap the shoulder buttons. And I don't want to start messing around with the config stuff in this video. I mean, you could actually just change the buttons in game and do the swap on the stick, but I'm just going to get on. Because you don't really move the camera much in this game at all. This is such a good game, man. But this is the kind of game that actually makes me think, do I want a grip? And Retroid Pocket, or Go Retroid, they are going to be releasing a grip for the Retroid Pocket 3 soon. It's currently Chinese New Year, so most business, basically every business in China is on holiday at the moment, and they're not going to be back until the end of the month. So if you've been trying to get hold of customer service or wanted to buy something recently and not heard anything, that's the reason why I actually needed to cancel something, because I wanted to change the order, and then I realized it was Chinese New Year. But I'm thinking about ordering a grip, and I think they start going on sale at the end of the month. And they do basically like a kind of blue grip and a transparent kind of white grip, which I'm thinking of buying and dyeing black. Yeah, that grip will definitely make games like this a bit easier to play. And I'm thinking about buying a new screen and shell and trying a new dye on the other shell and see what it looks like. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do yet, but I kind of enjoy this like customizing and modding. I think I can just run straight to the boss. But yeah, we haven't seen any slowdowns. I'm not sure if it's supposed to slow down at this boss. I haven't actually tested this boss in the Retroid Pocket yet. But pretty exciting that it does run very well. This is a good boss to have Trickster on if you don't really know what you're doing. Yeah, when I first tested this out, I remember as soon as it started slowing down, I was like, oh, that's a shame. This is like one of the perfect kind of games you'd want portably. I mean, I know you can get this on the Nintendo Switch as well, but I don't really like using my Nintendo Switch anymore. I do actually have this on my Nintendo Switch. The ability to like swap between any weapon you want at any time is pretty cool. But yeah, I think we're pretty much done testing this game. It's running really well. It just like wanted to slow down a bit there, and I was like, oh, don't. I am dead. Right, let's move on to the next game then. So, the next game we're going to have a look at is actually God of War 2. This is not a huge improvement, so I was testing it out last night. Oh, I don't have any saves. And it adjusts some of the bloom and a couple other things. I wasn't completely sure what they did. It does seem like there is a little bit of an increase in performance. But that's strange. Why is it not saying that the... Let's double check this and make sure it's added. God of War 2. 26 cheap patches and widescreen. Okay, that'll do. So, new game. Actually, just before, if you start this game, I have turned on widescreen and progressive scan, just in case.
By defeating Ares.
And there was something about like skipping MPEGs in this on this PNACH, so I don't know if you could do that before. We got underclock of 50%, mild underclock of 1. I think that's the same as I had it before, but it was necessary because it wasn't reaching the true 100% speed all the time. This is also an NTSC version. I should probably mention that these PNACH codes are specific to the version of the game. I don't know, I'll leave that up to you. If you want to try and test the code and see if it works with the PAL version of the game, then you can certainly try. But I think all of these are specific to the NTSC versions. So I can tell this is not like fluid 60 FPS. And it feels pretty similar to the last time I tested it, but we have the PNACH code, and I do feel like there is a little bit better performance here, so I'm just going to test it again, show it to you guys. Oh, this is funny. So there's one for Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monk, and I've never played that game before, and I remember hearing about a like single player Mortal Kombat game that's kind of like a character action game. I started playing it last night. I was like, dude, this is a really cool game. Like, it's very much like inspired by God of War and stuff, but it's cool. And it's co-op. So I don't actually know, but maybe you could play Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks completely co-op with someone else who has a Retroid Pocket and do it online. That'd be sweet, actually. Like if you and your mate are on like a bus or something. I've always got the powers of a god. That's how I became a god. Oh, I hate these tutorials. I did try to find other PNACH codes. So basically, it was kind of weird to research this, and I'm not really sure what I can personally do. I was looking at different forums. It seemed to be, what I gathered was that there are actually like all these things you can do to these games, like remove certain effects, and the codes are out there. They're just not in a PNACH format, kind of. So for example, I couldn't find any codes for Metal Gear Solid 2 or 3 or Gran Turismo, which I really wanted to find, because those would actually benefit the Odin as well. And But it might be the case that what we need to get those games running smooth does actually exist. But you have to like change the binary number of it to be turned into a PNACH code, something like that. And there might be a website online that does this for you, but I don't know what needs changing. So, I don't know. I'll look into it a bit more, but it's not really like my territory. I don't want to go around and start asking dumb questions. Yeah, this game's running really nice. Just sort of... I mean, it's pretty much 100% speed, but it's not always completely 60 frames. So let's look at the next game. The next game we're going to have a look at is Ico. Now, when I first started testing Ico, I thought, hey, this runs okay, but I had the same problem with the Odin. So I got to this moment here where you're about to save the girl, and this thing happens all the time, where it just starts slowing down. So in this PNACH code, it basically removes some of the blur and increases the sharpness, and it gets rid of some post effects as well. I'm thinking I want to disable the codes and show you this. So I'm going to, just because I get paranoid, I'm going to start the game again by disabling the codes. Because I do feel like some of the light in this game disappears from turning the code on, but we'll have a look. So I'm going to jump on the thing. We're going to have a look at the number up here. It's not very well focused, because if I put autofocus on my camera, it doesn't always focus on the Retroid Pocket when it's up close. So here the girl's going to come out, and that's going to just start dipping to about 70. Just starts getting bad here, and this is the point, the first time in the game where the game just starts not running very well. So you can kind of assume this is going to keep happening. And maybe it's something to do with the girl on screen at times. And because sorry, I meant to do this before. I am not using any underclocking and have not changed a thing on my global settings. So we had a bunch of slowdown there, and once we get into the game, it slows down a little bit more. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to turn the codes on, so enable patches. You can see a lot of that light just disappeared. That's actually a good example to show that I don't need to start the game again. I'm going to show the same cutscene again, but you're going to see that it's running a lot better now. So I just wanted to show that like comparison, so you can decide whether that loss of light is a big deal or not to you. I'm not sure if there's something we can do in the emulator to just like bump up the brightness. But yeah, it's not dropping from 100% now, so this code does work. We just lost a bunch of the light in the room to do that. This is another game where having a grip might help a little bit. Unless you do what I sometimes like to do and just put the stick on the D-pad and do that instead. Come with me. Come with me if you want to live. Oh my god. I'm never doing accents again. Yeah. This kid is an absolute Chad. It's like, yep, she's gonna follow me. So it's quite dark, but the characters stay quite bright. It's still, you know, I can still see the terrain, the layout. I just wanted to get to an outdoors location and see what the brightness is like. That bridge is pretty dark though, but everything else is quite bright. So one more comparison. Let's turn off the codes. It's not a huge difference out here actually. I thought it would brighten up a lot more. I'm going to turn the code on again. Yeah, that didn't change much at all. So that loss of brightness for the increased performance, definitely worth it, I'd say. I was thinking of just letting her drop, but oh, is it like I tap and oh, I didn't know it was a toggle. Whee! She's gonna get tired of me. Okay, so that's Ico. Next game we're gonna have a look at is I don't really know if this is worth a look. Midnight Club free. So this code gets rid of the blur in the game, but it doesn't seem to affect the performance very much. The performance seems to be just fine anyway. I remember on the Odin this was a game that just seemed to work well out of the gate. Settings. So I haven't even put an underclock because I was just testing this bridge area here, and it seemed like with the underclock on, like 50% or whatever, it did seem to slow the game down a bit. So I've actually left this all base settings. There was a couple of moments of slowdown, but it seems like this PNACH code might not really be a performance code, just that if you don't like the blur in the game, you can turn it off. Game seems to run pretty fine anyway. I was just sort of testing one of the cities in arcade mode. I put the rain on because some games, effects like rain can slow the game down. It depends how they've done it. So I remember, for example, Auto Modelista on the GameCube, a rainy level was just terrible. But if you didn't do a rainy level, it ran a lot better. But on the PS2 version of Auto Modelista, it just runs perfectly. If I do another PS2 showcase of different games on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, I would show that Auto Modelista runs amazing. It's really good on there. It's just another one of those games that just goes to show that AetherSX2 has come, well, did come really far in the time it was being developed, and actually made some games way more playable on the PS2 for these devices than on the GameCube. I'm gonna hit the tram, man. So there's not a lot to talk or show about that one, so that's just a quick look at Midnight Club. The next game we're going to have a look at is Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, and I've seen some people say, you know, oh, there's a code for Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, it runs really well. But I haven't even turned on the patch yet. I haven't even put it on because I was testing this game and I was like, it runs fine. Why do we need this code? So I've not changed the upscaler or the GPU render or anything. Hardware mode is not changed. I've put a 50% underclock just because there was a couple of moments where I thought it might have needed it a little bit. But apart from that, this game just seems to run very well. So I basically got to the second level. This game is really fun. I didn't realize how much fun it was. And I have heard some people talk about, like, oh man, if they make like maybe like Mortal Kombat 12 should have a mode like this, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, they should. Wait, I wanted to throw someone in the spikes. Let's load state. So because I am doing a video on PNACH codes, I should do this. So let's add patch, import from file. I'm going to add the Mortal Kombat code, and you can see like the brightness just went down, the shadows have gone. It disables lots of things, and I'm assuming at this point, if I was to say screw it, let's go up to 3x. Oh no, it doesn't like that. We'll go 2x. Sometimes you get a little cocky, you can't help yourself. So you can do 2x with this off, with the PNACH code on. I'm going to disable the codes now. You can do 2x. Wait, hang on. Did that actually change anything? Wait, what? It didn't look like it changed anything. Right, I'm going to disable and then I'm going to quit. And then I'm going to load the state again. So lights back on. Yeah, you can't do 2x with all those effects on. You can't do that. So I'm going to just put it back to 1x. So with the PNACH code, you could take the game up to 2x. But I don't actually really see the point. And this is a game that could do with a grip as well, because like... Yeah, there you go. That's fun. Kind of reminds me of like Bulletstorm or something. Oh, this guy's gonna get it. See that? I got the fatality down. That means I actually played this. Why is his head explosive? So yeah, like some people had said, you know, oh, the PNACH code makes the game way more playable, but it's already playable, so that kind of confused me. This game does have some odd graphical glitches though. You see these like black, like flat textures around this grass. I'm not sure what you'd do to change that. Doesn't really bother me though, so... Oh, it's all in the trees as well. I wonder how people would feel if they made another Mortal Kombat game and it wasn't a fighter, it was just this. But like God of War level production and story. Make it co-op. See, I always thought this was going to be a bad game. I might actually play this because I think it's pretty cool. Okay, we got one more game to look at, and this one is absolutely worth looking into because I said this game was not playable. Shadow of the Colossus. So with this PNACH code, it disables a lot. It disables the light. Oh, actually, I'm going to quit game because I want to do like a run up to this boss. So it disables the light. It disables like the dust around the Colossus' feet, and it disables some shadows as well. I'm going to show you my settings for this game. So we have 50% underclock, no underclocking here for cycle skip, which it was basically mandatory. Vulkan 1x, just me testing around. No hardware download change. And the PNACH code does change a bunch of how the graphics look, but it's not like massive. So I'm going to load game. I've already defeated like 3 Colossi, so I just defeated the really tall one with the long arm. I'd actually like to go and test that again, but I don't have a save state for it anymore because I like deleted all my save states. If you make a lot of save states on AetherSX2 for different games, you will quickly like rack up like a gigabyte of storage. If you have like loads of them. Hey, this is weird. I've never seen this before. Okay. Good thing to see that on video. Let's double check things again. Let's add the codes. No cheats or... okay. Let's enable patches. Had I disabled them before? I'm gonna exit game and start again. Maybe I turned them off for some reason. You can see 50 cheat are on now. 50? 50? But why is it not saying the widescreen patches? Maybe it's in the PNACH. Anyway, we'll just start the game again. That looks a lot better. That looks how I remembered playing it. There we go. So in my last PS2 video where I did a showcase, I tested out Shadow of the Colossus. I remember seeing a couple of videos of people having like varying performance based on their settings, but I had concluded that if you try and go to the next boss, which I'm going to, the performance tanks so much that it just wasn't even worth bothering with. So I was like, don't play this, it's not worth it. But now with this PNACH code, PNACH patch. Oh shit, I've set it to be... Hang on, let me change my controls. See that D-pad is left stick. I'm going to change that to just Retroid Pocket Plus. These are just ones I've made. You can make loads of profiles for your controller if you want. So now I'm back onto the stick. And we've got it pretty smooth here. Some very minor dips. You want to go, mate? Thank you. Agro. But it's oh my god, this horse. But it's running pretty good. I know there'll be a couple of situations where like the performance will change a bit. Oh god, how do I change back to sword? So it looks a little bit different, but unless you like showed me the original version, I don't know if I could. I don't know. I'll have a little look around. Maybe the clouds look a bit darker. I mean, it says there's no sun, no sunlight, and we'll see with the Colossus that there's no dust effects. The horse doesn't have a shadow beneath us, but this PNACH code is making this game very, very playable. And this is a code I found on the AetherSX2 Discord, or fan Discord. So if you want to keep your eye and keep up to date with people finding new stuff or whatever, excuse me, then I'll put an invite to that Discord in the video description. And there is a room that specifically says PNACH, so it was only made on the 17th of January actually, so you know, fingers crossed we'll see some more people find some more codes and post them in there. But I thought this is a great opportunity to do a little showcase of a bunch of the codes I've just found. So in my last video of showing Shadow of the Colossus, the performance just crashed here. It's so bad. I was like, yeah, don't bother. Don't bother. But now it's just not even dropping. So these PNACH codes, you can kind of think of them as like PC games where you go in the graphics settings and turn certain things off. And technically, you should be able to do that with every game, as long as you understand the code and what does what. So you change like this number and it turns this off. So there has to be absolutely the potential to see games like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 and Gran Turismo 4, but with those settings with something turned off that makes the game run a lot smoother. Because you can bet your arse that those games are using a specific feature of the PS2 that definitely demands some performance. There's a bit of slowdown there, but you know, that's a pretty wide shot they just showed us. So that's weird. You see like the rocks come up from his feet, but supposedly there used to be a lot more dust there before. Maybe this area does seem a lot darker than I remember it being, but if I wanted to play this game, I'd absolutely play it like this. You have the option now. You have the sight now, Neo. So I'm also going to try and do a little bit more digging, say on the PCSX2 forums and stuff, because someone's bound to have like mentioned a code for something here or there. Whoops. But based on me just like trying to Google certain keywords and stuff, I wasn't able to find any more like performance codes. I did try to search by like some people's username of who already like provided certain codes like that, but it seems like what they showed was like all they found. Is his head in there? No. If I try to beat this Colossus in this video, it's going to take forever. A couple other things I found in the Discord room for those PNACH codes. I don't know if these were codes. I remember reading Star Ocean 3 till the end of time. To fix the slow menu, you need to go to graphics textures preloading and set it to partial. And Front Mission 4, but if you get slowdown, try disabling multi-thread VU1. So there seems to be some pretty useful tips over there if you keep your eye out as well. It's just that when you're in a Discord channel, I mean, yeah, you can search by room and search certain like keywords and things, but actually like going through everything's such a slog, which is why it's a lot easier to have like things like this video where it's all like collected together. But yeah, I'm going to stop playing Shadow of the Colossus now. But it runs very well. And we've also seen, I said I'll do it at the end of the video, but let's have just have one more look at Burnout 3. Let's do it so that I just start the game from scratch, because I've been loading save states. So 25 cheat patches and loads of widescreen patches. So the PNACH code is on. I'm just going to I'll pick a level I've not shown on the on these videos before. Okay. Yeah, you've changed, man. Oh man, Dead Space is coming out this Friday. I'm definitely going to be playing Dead Space. I remember this level actually being quite tough to run. There was like some moments where it would struggle. Oh, thankfully that car got in the way. Thank you. It's like way more intense when you don't have the radio on. Oh. This level is running nice. This game runs a lot better than Revenge does. Oh my god. Let's see if we can get some aftertouch going on. Whoa! No way! Whatever happened there, I tripped over something. It wouldn't let me get that aftertouch. Ugh. God, this game is so much fun. When I got my Odin, this is the first game I played. I was like, I've got to play this again. Oops. Yeah. You can also play Burnout Legends on the PSP, which has some of these tracks, all of these tracks, I don't know. But it is different. It definitely feels a bit different. Ugh, I can't see. Man, I am in first place. I am slaying this. But yeah, that's Burnout Free. Always good to look at Burnout Free. So that was a video on PNACH codes for performance. So the highlights there, obviously Burnout Free. Revenge looks pretty good. Devil May Cry 3 runs a lot better. God of War 2 is not much of an not much. It's not changed much. It's okay. Ico definitely got better, but at the sacrifice of some lighting. Midnight Club 3, I couldn't really tell much difference, to be honest. Runs great anyway. Mortal Kombat, same thing, runs great anyway, but you could, if you wanted to, use the PNACH code and bump up the resolution. And then Shadow of the Colossus is absolutely playable. So yeah, really cool stuff. I'm going to try and keep my eye out for some more PNACH codes. Let's have a look at some games here. I've not kept every game I have on here, so something I'd be looking out for is like Zone of the Enders 2. Maybe Valkyrie Profile could benefit from something like that. Which of these games? Because a lot of these games work. Maybe Shadow Hearts Covenant could benefit from a couple of things, but I think there's fixes you can do in here to help make that run better. Obviously, the Gran Turismo games. Gran Turismo 3 doesn't run as well as I'd like it to, so that's one I would look for a code for. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. I'm surprised I haven't found any kind of performance codes for those because they're so popular. And Final Fantasies run great. Don't know about Dragon Quest. That does run well if you turn hardware download mode off. But yeah, we've got a pretty healthy selection of PS2 games that run really well on here, and those PNACH codes have just added a little bit more to it. So if you like that video, please give it a like. Subscribe to me, hit that bell icon if you want to be notified of more videos. Going to be doing some more soon. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Doing stuff with my hands. Bye.